Hey everyone, Laura with my very own quilt shop. I am attaching a binding today to a little quilt, so I thought I would show you how I finish off with a lumpless finish. No measuring, no hard math. It's pretty simple. So let me show you how I do that. Okay, get that right there. Let's see. There, I think that's good. So this is my starting point, and I've got that just smoothed out and pinned down, and here is where I've folded over, pressing towards me the beginning. Then what I do is, I've got to get my glasses on here. Then I've stopped stitching way up here, so I have plenty of tail. I do have another seam here, which was not my preference, but I'm not going to redo it. So then I've smoothed this end out and pinned that down. And it's okay to be just a hair tighter so you don't end up with a pucker at the end. And then what I do is I overlap it. I overlap my starting triangle. I'm going to pin down right before the fold, and then I fold it back. And what you want to do is you want to be, this is where the fold is for that starting. I get just even with that and I cut it off, unpin everything. Then, and I'm not going to take it to the ironing board because the camera's on the tripod and I've got a cat starting to bother me. So then I take this end and I go to the ironing board and I press it away from me. So this one goes this direction where the starting strip came towards me. Then I've got two nice crisp folds. We'll just do this with the finger press in the opposite direction. And this is easier on bigger quilts than little quilts. This one's an okay size, but a small thing like a pot holder, you got not as much room. Then I match up my folds. I don't mark anything, I just press the folds. I get all my edges lined up, get my folds lined up. I put a bunch of pins in here. So that it doesn't move. So there's my fold right there, and it's matched up to the fold on this side going the opposite direction. I usually put about 4 pins in. And it doesn't matter, sometimes my bindings are 2.5, sometimes they're 2 1/4. This one's 2, sometimes they're 2 1/4, sometimes they're 2. This is a small quilt, so this is probably 2. It doesn't matter, this works with any size. You still don't have to measure because your strips are the same size. Then I take this to the sewing machine and I sew right on the fold. Then I press it at the ironing board. Before I cut this off, I make sure it's going the right direction. I can tell already that it will be when I sew it. And so then you unfold it and just finish sewing it down, and you don't have any kind of lumps or bumps and extra material in there where if you just tried to feed the binding in and not actually attach the ends. So that is my lumpless binding. I hope this helps you finish your quilts a little easier, and I do have a tutorial, a picture tutorial also on my blog of this process, and the blog is my very own quiltshop.blogspot.com. So happy binding!